Hello everyone, I'm Meryl from Pasta Social Club and Food 52's resident pasta maker. Today I am going to show you how to make one of my favorite cold weather comfort foods with a little bit of a twist, and that is stuffed gnocchi or gnocchi ripieni. There is a traditional version of this dish from northern Italy that's made with plums and cinnamon and sugar, which sounds most excellent. But generally, stuffed gnocchi is more of a modern phenomenon. Of course, there are a million possibilities for the filling. You can even just cut up a cube of delicious melty cheese like taleggio or mozzarella, even gorgonzola, and stuff it in the middle. But in celebration of some fall flavors, this recipe is packed with earthy mushrooms, fresh thyme, plenty of cheese, and quite a significant hit of garlic as well. The best part about all of this is that you don't need any special equipment to make stuffed gnocchi. They're really easy to freeze, and just a simple butter sauce or a quick pan fry will make this into the perfect fall cozy meal. Okay, with all of that said, let's get cooking.
Okay everyone, let's kick things off with our potatoes. I'm using russets here and starting them in cold salted water, then bringing them to a boil for about 20 minutes until tender. One of the most important things to remember when making gnocchi is that dry potatoes are good potatoes, so make sure to keep the skins on to prevent them from absorbing too much water. Once they're easily pierced with a knife, drain the potatoes thoroughly and peel them while they're still warm. The skins should come off really easily, just maybe use a dish towel or something instead of burning your hands like I did. I'm now going to pass the potatoes through a ricer. This is an excellent tool if you make a lot of mashed potato-y things since it keeps everything nice and smooth and fluffy. But if you're only dabbling, a fork or a potato masher will do just fine. I also like to spread everything out on a paper towel lined baking sheet so all of the steam can escape as they cool, because remember, dry potatoes are good potatoes. While the potatoes cool, let's turn to our filling. You may be noticing a theme here, but the less moisture the better, so we're looking for something thick and firm that's easy to work with when making our gnocchi. I'm going to start by sauteing a pound of sliced cremini mushrooms in butter over medium-high heat until they release all of their moisture and begin to brown, which takes about 10 to 12 minutes. Also, is anyone else constantly shocked by how much mushrooms shrink down when they cook? Just me? Next, I'm going to take the mushrooms off of the heat and add a generous 5 cloves of minced garlic and a teaspoon of thyme leaves. The residual heat will cook the garlic and the thyme without worry of anything burning. Then season to taste with salt and pepper and let the mushrooms cool a bit. To finish the filling, I'm adding my mushroom garlic thyme mixture to a food processor with a steel blade attachment, followed by 1/3 cup of whole milk ricotta, a tablespoon of mascarpone cheese, and 1/3 cup of freshly grated Parmesan. A quick pulse, salt and pepper to taste, and we are good to go. I'm going to transfer this to a bowl and keep it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to assemble my gnocchi, or for at least 30 minutes. And just remember, if you're not a mushroom fan, swap this out for your favorite flavors or cut up some melty cheese instead. Alright my friends, on to our gnocchi dough. I'm starting with a very generous cup, or about 160 grams of all-purpose flour in a large mixing bowl, followed by a teaspoon of kosher salt. In general, when making gnocchi, keep the flour to a minimum. This recipe is about 3 parts potato to 1 part flour in weight, which keeps the dough together without it getting heavy. Next, in go half of our very dry riced potatoes, half of a beaten egg, and a little grating of fresh nutmeg. I'm going to repeat my potato egg nutmeg sandwich and then very gently fold the flour from the bottom of the bowl into the potato mixture until it just comes together. Gnocchi dough is basically the opposite of all other pasta doughs, so the less you work it, the lighter and fluffier it will be. Now I'm going to transfer everything to a wooden surface and knead for maybe 30 seconds until all of the ingredients are evenly distributed. Quick side note that while all of this seems simple enough, it took me a long time and many failed batches of gnocchi to get it right. So just a quick recap: dry potatoes, light on the flour, and work the dough as little as possible. Great gnocchi every time. Once everything is well incorporated, I'm going to wrap it up and let it chill in the fridge for about 15 minutes to rest. At long last, the time has come. To make our stuffed gnocchi, start with about 1/4 of the dough and cut it into approximately 1/2 ounce pieces. The dough should look nice and layered in the center, not sticky or gluey. A food scale is your friend here, but if you don't have one, you can roll the dough into a thick rope and cut it into 10 to 12 pieces of roughly equal size. This method, though, is clearly not my strong suit. Next, add a pinch of flour to each piece and roll it into a little ball. Flatten the ball into a disc, maybe a couple of inches in diameter, and add about a half teaspoon of filling to the center. This is definitely a somewhat messy activity, so it may help to have a dish towel nearby. Then carefully fold the potato disc around the filling on all sides and gently adjust it back into a circle. And done! Just repeat that several more times until all of the dough is gone. As you work, arrange the stuffed gnocchi on a parchment-lined baking sheet with a bit of flour. If you're planning to cook them right away, pop them in the fridge for about 15 minutes to set up. For longer-term storage, just freeze them on the baking tray until they're solid, about 1 to 2 hours, then transfer them to an airtight container. When you're ready to cook them, do so straight from frozen. Ideal if you want to have a stash of these on hand whenever the craving strikes. Now for the finishing touches. To cook the stuffed gnocchi, bring a large pot of water to a boil and salt it well. Carefully add the gnocchi, and when they float, they're done. Remove them with a slotted spoon onto a platter and save the cooking water. My preferred way to eat these is pan-fried in olive oil or clarified butter for about 3 to 5 minutes per side. They'll develop a beautiful golden crust that's pretty much impossible to stop eating. Just top them with a little flaky salt, black pepper, a drizzle of olive oil, and some fresh herbs. Perfection. If you're more of a boiled dumpling fan, which I also can be, then let's make a quick thyme-infused butter sauce. I'm melting a few tablespoons of high-quality salted butter in a small saucepan over medium heat, then adding a couple of fresh thyme sprigs. Follow that with a couple of spoonfuls of starchy gnocchi cooking water and stir vigorously to combine. Now we've got a beautiful, glossy, emulsified butter sauce. Add the gnocchi and gently swirl them around to coat. To top things off, I'm going to plate everything up with a generous handful of Parmesan and a little too much fresh thyme, and it's as simple as that. Dig in, let that rich mushroom filling shine, and never look at gnocchi the same way again.
Okay everyone, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave a comment below, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye!